In 1999, my life just was in a very bad place. I felt very depressed, very broken, very sad. I wasn't even sure how I was going to pull myself out of this quagmire I felt myself in. When who should come along to help me but Mr. Rogers? Yes, that Mr. Rogers from television. I'll tell you that story in just a second. Hi, my name is Alan. I'm an actor and a writer living in New York City with my husband and our 18-year-old cat. Now, at the time, I was an actor on the national touring company of Andrew Lloyd Webber's The Phantom of the Opera. I had been with the show for quite a while, and I was starting to feel stagnant in my part and just not sure what the future held. I was also coming to the end of my relationship with my boyfriend at the time, who was a coworker, and he was a great guy. We had had some good times together, but it was time for it to end. Now, the problem with moving on with your life when you're dating somebody that you work with is that they don't just go away. You see them every single day. And so moving on is sometimes pretty tough. So we were at the time in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and it was a matinee day. I was feeling particularly low and just not wanting to be there when the stage manager came over the PA and said, "Anybody who wants to meet Mr. Rogers and his wife after the show, stay on stage after curtain call. Don't leave. Don't take off your costumes. We will escort them back and you can meet them." Well, that was great news for me because he had been one of my personal heroes my whole life. So I was definitely planning on being there, and I was hoping that there'd be at least a handful of people that would stay. But do you know every single person in that company stayed? All the actors, all the crew members, the musicians, the front of house people, the ushers, they all showed up to meet Mr. Rogers. And we were standing in this huge circle after the curtain call, and they escorted Mr. and Mrs. Rogers back, and they were the most adorable couple. And he spoke to the group, and as he turned, he addressed everybody in the circle, and he made eye contact with each of us as he spoke. And what he said was, "I want you to know that what you're doing here is sacred. Every single one of you is so important to what we just saw." He said, "No matter what your job is, whether you're an actor, a crew member, a musician, an usher, somebody helping us find our seats, everyone today was magnificent at their jobs. I was astonished at how good you all were. You gave us a magical experience. You transported us. And I don't want you to take that lightly. I want you to know how important it was to us." And I heard those words and internalized them, and suddenly I felt like I am opening night on Broadway and I matter in this show and I am important and my craft is important and everything that we do is important because we do it not for ourselves but for the audience. And it just gave me the lift and the jump start that I needed to stop feeling like crap, you know? So I went up to meet him. There was a little line to shake his hand and talk to him, and I spoke to him and I said, "I want to thank you for everything you've given us over our lifetimes, from your show to your philosophies. You have really inspired me in so many ways." And rather than just be like, "Oh, thank you," he said, "Thank you for thinking enough of me to come up and introduce yourself. It's a real honor to meet you." I mean, come on. And his wife, Joanne, was just as kind and just as lovely. And you, standing in their presence, felt like you were meeting these evolved souls. And I've never forgotten what I got from that meeting. I've carried it with me. And I've tried to remember it in the worst of times. And I've tried to share it. And that's why I wanted to do this channel, was to just give a tiny little piece of that back and to tell you, if you're in that situation where you feel you don't matter or you feel your job isn't important enough, just remember what you do is sacred. Who you are is important. What you bring to the world is necessary. These are all lessons that I learned from Mr. Rogers. And I think that had I not had that meeting, who knows how long it would have taken me to figure that stuff out. But his generosity is what lifted me. So I'm sure Mr. Rogers would agree. Please go out and do a random act of kindness for somebody. It not only gives a gift to somebody else, but it feeds your soul. Thank you for being here as always. I will see you on the next one. Until then, you have yourself a beautiful day. Bye bye.